The Hurricane Heist is directed by Cohen, who directed the first Fast and Furious movie, Stealth, Triple X, and my favorite of all of them, The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. That's not a very good track record. It's safe to say that this movie doesn't improve that. The Hurricane Heist stars Tobey Kebbell as Will. He's a meteorologist, and he teams up with Casey, played by Maggie Grace, who has to take down a group of thieves trying to rob the U.S. Department of Treasury during a hurricane. The Hurricane Heist, I did not see any marketing or trailers for. I went out with a friend after work one night. We caught the tail end of a TV spot for it, and she looked over at me. She's like, "Does that look bad?" And I was like, "Yeah, that looks awful." So I saw no trailers. I just caught the tail end of that with the title card. With this type of premise, a bank robbery during a hurricane, that should make for some fun, absurd, stupid popcorn entertainment. Unfortunately, it's not that. At least I didn't feel this way. Other people might feel this way. This might be like a guilty pleasure type of thing for other people. For me, no. This was more of a remake of Hard Rain, but shittier. Hard Rain. Oh, man. I can't believe I'm comparing a movie to Hard Rain with Christian Slater. Hard Rain. Oh, my God. Wow. Wow, Hard Rain. My big issue with this movie is that it's not self-aware. This movie's supposed to be absurd. It's got an absurd premise, but it's not self-aware. It should be self-aware that it's absurd. It takes itself way too seriously to be self-aware. For instance, look at John Wick, for instance. Other than being a likable character, being a really cool badass, and a really interesting world building, John Wick works because it's self-aware. The movie knows what it is. The Hurricane Heist doesn't know what it is. It tries to be a disaster movie. It also tries to be a bank robbing movie. It's neither of those, really. It's the two of them are just meshed together, but like there's so many scenes where there's shootouts trying to be a heist movie, and then there's scenes that focus on the storm, so it's trying to be a disaster movie. It really can't pick a balance between the two, and it's not self-aware. It takes itself way too seriously. There's not enough dumb, stupid fun to be had here. It's just loud, obnoxious, overdone. That's really what this movie is. And that kind of upset me, because I was really hoping that, despite not seeing the trailers or anything, but I knew who was in it, that it would be, like, absurd. Just absurd fun. Just absurd popcorn, throwaway fun, entertaining, guilty pleasure, you know, that type of thing. But it's not that, unfortunately, and that was really, really a huge takeaway on this. Tobey Kebbell, he's fine in the movie. Everybody else just collects a paycheck. Tobey Kebbell has a terrible agent because he's getting terrible scripts, and I think he's a good actor. He's pretty good in this. I wouldn't say he's great. Maggie Grace, you are lucky you're hot, and when you're wet, you're lucky you're even hotter, because your acting sucks. Like, she's a terrible actress. I don't think I've seen this bad of a performance from her since The Fog. And that's everything in between, too, where I don't think she's that great in, like, the Taken trilogy. I don't think she's that great in. Oh, yeah, she was Liam Neeson's hot, dumb daughter. Forgot about that. Yeah, that just dawned on me that she was in Taken. It's just, this movie also, there are so many points in this movie that logical questions enter your brain. And by that, I mean there are instances in this movie where something's occurring and you're just like, is this even logical? There are so many instances of this in this movie. One that really sticks out is, obviously this is taking place during a hurricane. It takes place in a small town. It's raining. There's torrential downpours. There's strong winds, and the ground is wet. Yet there's a high-speed chase. A high-speed car chase at that. They're flooring like 100 miles an hour. Wouldn't they hydroplane? There's also a female thief in this movie. She enters the treasury. I don't think female thieves wear sexy, skin-tight dresses like that. I mean, yeah, it looked nice, but seriously, I mean, I feel like she was just on screen for teenage kids to get a boner. It's logic things like that that really bogged this movie down. There were so many instances of it in this movie. Almost every scene. I could pick apart every scene where I'm like, this is not logical. But I really can't, because that would take forever, and I don't want to be here forever. You don't want to be here forever, so those were really two of the big instances. There's also a scene involving hubcaps being thrown around like buzzsaws. There are instances where it does get to be that absurd fun. Like, when they're throwing around the hubcaps as buzzsaws. I'm like, why didn't this happen throughout the whole movie? That would have been awesome. Some of the death scenes, I'll admit, edited poorly, but they were funny. There are a few instances. Where I could just chuckle at the absurdity and the stupidity of what was taking place, because I knew that's what I wanted the movie to be, but going back again, that's not what the movie is, for the most part. And that was really disappointing. There are a few instances, actually a lot, not a few, a lot of instances in this movie with dialogue. Dialogue is written very poorly. For instance, couple instances. The end of the movie, the hot chick that's in the sexy dress, she gets attacked and she's like, "They're killing us!" It's something like that. I know she uses the word kill. She either says like, "They're killing us," or like, "I'm gonna kill you," or something. It's like, okay. Yeah, no duh. And then there's another instance in the movie where Maggie Grace is like, "Oh man, like, I can't shoot him." And then Tobey Kebbell's like, "Why?" And she's like, "Well, I'm out of bullets." And I'm like, well, yeah, no shit, bitch. The characters in this movie are also non-existent. Maggie Grace has, like, no character development at all. Like, the only thing you learn about her is that she has 6 brothers. I'm like, that's it? That's all we get for character development? None of these thieves are really all that smart. Nobody's that smart in this movie. They just make dumb decisions. It's almost like it's a horror movie. It was really surprising. The editing in this movie, kind of jarring, because it cuts away right before people die sometimes. Those funny deaths that I want to laugh at. So that was kind of weird. The end of this movie really feels like it's the first Fast and Furious meets the opening scene to the 4th Fast and Furious, but just done a lot worse. That's what I got. All the while, a storm is chasing them. The best way to describe this movie is if Into the Storm and Geostorm met, had sex, and had a baby, this was their love child. That's what this movie is. Look, this is really, when I think back on some of the worst movies of 2018, this is gonna be one of them. There's nothing really all that appealing about this movie. It's just generic action movie. That's what it is. I mean, if I want to watch a heist movie, I'll watch Den of Thieves. Or, even better, I'll watch better heist movies than Den of Thieves. But Den of Thieves, really, because we've had 2 heist movies come out now in 3 months. I mean, Den of Thieves really doesn't look as bad now. I didn't even think Den of Thieves was all that awful. I didn't think it was good. But, I mean, it looks a lot better than I actually gave it, than the score I actually gave it. Now that I watch this, there's also really, like, dumb stuff where I'm like, why is this happening? Like, why is Tobey Kebbell's character's car the Batmobile, but without the gadgets? Why are we eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches right now and talking about what kind of peanut butter is on them? It's little stuff like that was bothering me. Those could honestly probably be nitpicks, but for me, those really detracted from the movie. I'm gonna just stop talking about the Hurricane Heist. Want to forget that it exists. I'm gonna give the Hurricane Heist its death sentence, which is an F. Yeah, that's my review of the Hurricane Heist, guys. Can you believe I compared this movie to Hard Rain? Oh my god, Hard Rain. Jesus Christ, whoever thought of Hard... How did Hard Rain pop into my head? Oh, man. Guys, thank you for watching my review of the Hurricane Heist. You can check out some other reviews I have done at the end of this video. I will leave all my links to my social media accounts in the description below. You guys are awesome. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, a certified G and a bona fide stud.